The next wave of ultra-realistic games is setting higher standards across the industry. With lifelike visuals, detailed environments, and grounded animations, these titles are pushing immersion further than ever. Let's dive right into it. The Witcher 4 moves the series into a new era, with a heavier focus on grounded realism, emotional storytelling, and a living world shaped by consequence. Settlements, wilderness, and political tension are built to feel reactive and believable. Combat, monster encounters, and exploration lean toward weight and authenticity rather than spectacle alone.
Oi! The devil's after you! You're running from! Shield us.
Salt.
Almost had me fooled, Fruin.
Neo Berlin 2087 presents a near-future city shaped by surveillance, corporate control, and social collapse. Investigation, gunplay, and dialogue-driven choices unfold inside dense urban spaces that feel lived in and oppressive. Its realism comes from atmosphere, cold streets, quiet tension, and morally gray decisions.
Living inside someone else's dream. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Even if this is a simulation, the pain still feels real.
Neo Berlin. What do I really know about it? She's like you. She needs your help.
I followed every thread, reconstructed memories. None of it fits.
You think you're solving the case. This is so much bigger. What if the case is you?
The world only works with order. Without order, chaos breaks out. It's out of balance and we must restore it. Do you understand that, Nolan?
Yes.
Nolan, what have you done?
A final symphony.
Beautiful Light centers on tactical realism and environmental storytelling within abandoned industrial zones. Movement, weapon handling, and visibility play a major role in every encounter. The game leans towards slow, methodical pacing, where sound, positioning, and patience decide survival.
When the daylight pierced through the branches, we understood we were standing before God. And here you are, on the edge of the Creator, listening to the echoes of a written story. See. The world will collapse, and while you stand in the midst of nothingness, searching for light in the darkness, only grasping the truth in the final reckoning. We were caught in the Rubicon's flow. Behind the high ramparts, where it cannot see us, we recite our final words. Motherland, bless your children who are about to die. Beyond my sword and behind my shield, I smile, because against all odds, I will triumph.
Blood Message focuses on raw physical combat and narrative weight, built around realistic animations and close-range intensity. Characters move and react with heavy presence, making every strike feel deliberate. Its tone stays grounded, serious, and emotionally charged.
能点亮天上的星河。大唐离我们太远了，神佛还会庇佑河西吗？
我是认真决定的，我还是想再试一次。今日，我们所流的血，是为了把大唐带回来。我们必须在破城之前把宁带出来。 安宁，等着我。安宁，安宁，
阿爷，我将追随沙洲一举。
去长安，你这是让他们去送死！
啊！
输赢成败，皆如沙上之大，风来即散。为众生之苦，常漫于天地之间。
回家吧，这些毫无意义。天命所归，我才是大唐。到头来，除了死更多人，什么都不会改变。
没有我的帮助，你走不出这片沙漠。如果神不肯拯救我们的部族，那就让我来。
阿娘，等着我。
是对信使，每个人都做好了有去无回的打算。
Can you describe the sound in the recording?
Project Spectrum to place players inside unstable combat zones where perception, sound, and space constantly shift. Visual distortions and psychological pressure affect how threats are read and handled. The experience leans into tension and uncertainty rather than raw firepower.
I remember the wind, strong wind. What the hell happened here?
We got company!
But sometimes, loss can birth beasts and bury truths. What do you think? What if you are the beast?
The beast?
The skies are always shaded with a cloud cover out here. Locals tend to agree it's...
Transience explores isolation through a quiet, decaying future, where technology feels familiar but fragile. Exploration unfolds slowly, guided by environmental clues and subtle storytelling. The world builds unease through silence, scale, and emptiness.
Swimming in the modern American dream out here. Nothing puzzling about it at all. It's just nature. Tons of ambition. A little greed here and there. A little crime. A lot of organization. The big guys and corps have the jobs, and the little guys slink along, picking up scraps till they can be worth the proper steak cuts. Some of us are a little past that, but only a little. Even the best of us are still just criminals with fancy names. Another spoke on the city's wheels, doing what it'd do naturally in New Houston. But no one is safe from an accountant.
Eli, this might be suicide. I have no clue what's down there.
As long as we can do something about it, doesn't matter what's down there. That's the gamble.
I bet he's on some pre-planned escape route. These accountants are slippery fuckers.
Sometimes, there wasn't a clean path out of Transience.
Sometimes I wonder if it's not me that's possessed.
The Vernyhorn presents a harsh medieval land shaped by folklore, hunger, and moral consequence. Exploration moves through unforgiving landscapes where survival comes before heroics. Combat favors restraint and patience, matching the bleak tone of the world.
Power reveals the man. In your case, we didn't have to wait long.
Who the fuck are you anyway?
What the fuck are you waiting for?
Listen. Isn't it beautiful? Since I was a child, I used to sit here and listen to the howling within the shelter of those ancient stones. They always made me feel safe. Sometimes I get the feeling that these beasts, though wild, have more loyalty in them than many humans. Let me tell you a story.
You just can't stay away.
You lied to me. Why?
Another whiner? What, too loud for you?
I've seen wolves leave the meat untouched. Just lingered. They looked less guilty than you two. Funny, isn't it?
That's enough.
You see that chop on the water? Storms coming from the land.
Never seen the winter hit this early.
It seemed innocent at first. There were faint sounds, small taps, nothing unsettling. Then small things began to disappear. You know, people thought it was the kids playing tricks. However, over time, the sound became unbearable. The wind blended with what seemed like the wail of a wounded soul. They thought it was just the wind howling through the cracks. But the truth was far worse.
Black myth Zhong draws from Chinese folklore with a focus on powerful mythic figures and disciplined combat. Enemies move with purpose, and encounters rely on timing and positioning. Ancient environments reinforce a sense of scale and spiritual weight.
You're falling flat, losing again.
Drop that codswallop. Mast will take us back, as long as we keep that mountain in our heart. Hey.
No scolding, no flogging, life spared. Why risk going back? This place, we've got food on our table and...
OD is shaping into a psychological horror experience built around distorted perception and unsettling presence. Spaces shift without warning, familiar rooms lose their logic, and fear grows through subtle manipulation rather than constant threats. The focus stays on atmosphere, vulnerability, and the slow collapse of certainty as the experience unfolds.
biggest fears of an astronaut doing extravehicular activity, or EVA, is somehow becoming detached and floating away.
The Expanse Osiris Reborn takes place across damaged ships, drifting stations, and politically charged space zones. Movement, combat, and survival depend on careful positioning and limited resources. The tone stays tense, controlled, and driven by hard sci-fi storytelling.
A realistic game, and that's where their team stepped in.
We wanted to strike the right balance, realism grounded in science fiction, not simulation.
During real spacewalks, we actually use tethers to keep ourselves attached to the vehicle. In a reactive game, that would be too clumsy, and so mag boots is a creative way to kind of compromise and keep it realistic, but also be able to be reactive. But the fear is the same, becoming detached somehow and drifting away. And that's just one example. Even firearms would behave differently in space. Recoil and ballistics would also be different. People think about space as silent, but silence can mean danger. For example, inside of the spacesuit, there's a steady hum of the fan that's blowing oxygen over your face. The people at Alcat Games did some research and figured out that vibrations caused by shots inside of a vehicle would translate to the hull and likely be felt through the mag boots.
We love the idea, but had to adapt it. Pure realism would mean almost no sound in combat. No vacuum, you hear more than Austiners do, but far less than in atmosphere. What you hear is what your character feels. Breath, comes, vibrations. The tension stays, and so does the fear.
The mission crews train for months, even years together. The commander is chosen first and sets the tone. Just like in the game, trust takes time and shared experience.
The ship is crew's home. To craft the right atmosphere, we focus on the smallest of details. Life in space changes tastes. Astronauts often crave spices just to feel such sensations again. On pink water meals created from what could actually be grown in orbit. And in the same spirit, you'll even hear your companions discussing food and ingredients on the ship. We hope that our approach to blending realism with gameplay considerations will make players experience something engaging and truly immersive.
Fatekeeper unfolds in a dark fantasy world ruled by ancient judgment and failing gods. Combat emphasizes deliberate action and narrow openings. The journey feels shaped by restraint, consequence, and the slow uncovering of hidden truths.
Sorry shape that bears it.
Let's see how choosy you'll be when the void invites you in.
Spirits preserve me. Just get back in the knapsack.
Fine. But remember, we must reach the moon gate and find some clue as to how it may be opened.
I still pray we might find survivors. Someone who can tell us what truly happened here.
Let him go for now, youngling. Let's see what this place holds.
Youngling, do you know my age, rodent?
Your years mean little. This is your first vigil. Thus, you are a neophyte, whether you enjoy the title or not.
Unrecord presents a body cam perspective that strips away traditional game presentation in favor of raw, unstable encounters. Gunfights appear close, chaotic, and frighteningly intimate, with environments that feel unpredictable and dangerous. The direction points toward an experience driven by tension, realism in movement, and moral weight in every encounter.
Shots fired!
DEFECT is coming together as a fast, aggressive cyberpunk shooter focused on close-quarters combat and tight urban spaces. Expect encounters built around constant movement, sharp positioning, and heavy use of the environment. The direction favors pressure-driven fights, where momentum matters, and mistakes are punished quickly, shaping a tense, high-impact combat experience.
Green light, 50 seconds. The system approves infiltration and data harvest. High-value criminal elements control the entire block between Figueroa and Lincoln. Multiple suspects in the stacks. Infiltrate and harvest. I will guide you in. Serve and protect. And the system will set you free. Once you're inside, apprehend and pursue all suspects. The system requires you monitor all fellow officers for deviation. It is your sworn duty to report any agitation, any disobedience, any emotion. The system is always watching.
Kill every one of you.
Foolish. Welcome to the grinder. You think you're brave? Law-abiding citizens, we have guests. 10 foes out for the first slug to bring me to head. If you want to live through the night, stay the fuck out of our way.
That's the first data drive. Marked.
Running a bypass.
Stealth wall deployed.
Suspect inside is jamming our system access. Breach and clear the apartment. Weapons hot.
Hands up!
Let me see her!
No hesitation.
Please help!
So get down!
What did they promise you? Freedom? Family?
There are 2 more data cubes on this block.
The system knows you're one of us.
Not going down!
Cover me!
Prosecute. With extreme prejudice.
Fuck you, man!
Consciousness transfer approved.
No! Please, I just need to get up to floor 60.
Alameda PD is tracking multiple gang units converging on your position. Floor 80 and above are locked down. Data cubes will access the system mainframe. Wipe the drive and reboot the block.
Useless bastards! You let the pigs check into my shit! I skin the liar! Now swallow the
Ill is emerging as a brutal survival horror title defined by disturbing creature behavior and oppressive environments. Movement feels restricted, danger builds through sound and anticipation, and combat carries a heavy sense of risk. The horror comes from physical vulnerability and relentless pressure rather than spectacle.
Millions of souls pour into the underworld every day. You're no different.
Swords of Legends draws from Eastern mythology to deliver a fantasy world built on martial discipline and spiritual conflict. Exploration moves through ancient architecture and sacred landscapes rich in cultural detail. Combat emphasizes flow, balance, and technique, blending weapon mastery with mystical abilities.
Turn to their roots. You shall gather the souls that stray.
I've watched over this city for ages, and every name in your scroll of death. Not one of them dies quietly. You, a soulless husk. You can judge my fate. Why wrestle rogues when their artifacts can do what brute strength cannot?
What? Soulless husk?
The living cast their dead to flame, and sacrifice ignites the war banners!
Here we go again.
Today, a new chapter in this land's history shall be written.
Crimson Desert continues to expand into a large-scale action-adventure centered on war, survival, and political collapse. The world stretches across contested regions where battles, alliances, and personal stories intersect. Combat remains weighty and direct, reinforcing a journey shaped by conflict and consequence.
Right. Cliff, seek out your Greymane comrades. Uncover the truth that lies within, and let your heart speak without fear.
In the end, all will come together as one. We fight for the future of all. Sound the horn of our final battle. Fight! Fight for Pywell!
Your fight is not for revenge, nor glory, nor pride.
This is your end!
Remember who you are, and let it guide your path. For at the end of it, you will find the answers you seek.